Hey everyone, Pinche Al here. And we're here to talk about a couple new things here at Pinche Al's Garage. One, again, hi. How's it going? What's up? How y'all been? It's been a while since we last chatted. And I'm just here to chit chat for a little bit. But we have a new item. And it's a very cool item because I make it here in my house. Like I make everything else. I make my stickers. I make my t-shirts. I make my 3D prints. I build my engines. I do a lot of stuff here in my house, in my little garage. And everything we make, again, we make with pride and we make with a lot of effort. And that's one of my favorite things about it is because when you guys receive a product from Pinche Al's Garage, it doesn't come from China. It doesn't come from a random outsourced company. It comes from this little garage, which is super cool. So I've been fiddling and faddling and messing around on the internet, talking to some cool people, some 3D designers. I'm not the best designer when it comes down to making models and stuff, but I found a couple people that are. And what's cool about it is that they were able to make some stuff for me, and I found some stuff they already made and paid them some money for some files. And we are making model car shells. See this? This is a Mark II GTI big bumper. And you guys can see it's all there. Big old booty and all. I also have, yes, a Mark IV GTI stock. This one failed. As you can see, it's kind of sideways. But my point is that this is a really cool item that we are offering on my online store, now available. But it's really cool because it's a model car. It's a 1/34 scale. And what does that mean? You can go, if you live in the United States, you can go to like almost any drugstore and pick up a $5 model car like this. This is one of these little cheap model cars you can buy for $5-6. Find one with the matching wheelbase. So you take your little model car and match up the wheelbase to it, unbolt it, pop it on. You might have to shave a couple corners, but the cool thing is you could slap on a Mark II to one of these guys and you got yourself a Mark II build. Pretty cool. It's a pretty cool item that I've been planning and trying to make for a long time, actually. So that's one cool thing about this. The next thing about it is we will be offering matching wheels. ¿Qué onda, Marvin Euro? What's up? We'll be offering a wheel design for each model that'll come with it. So just wanted to give you guys a cool heads up on something like that. If you guys are interested, please definitely ask questions and whatnot. I'm definitely here to ask and help. But again, as it is right now, we are here to talk car and talk Mark IV or anything else. As always, here at Pinche Al's Garage, we're here to talk, Q&A, anything else. I mean, please be open to it. The turbo just arrived for our Corrado. I will be showing you guys that tomorrow because it just came in. I got to go pick it up at the shop. We got a new turbo for the Corrado. I'm ordering a manifold, a wastegate, and a blow-off valve next to finish that off. The contest for the KO4 turbo is still going. Currently, we were at 1,100. Maddie Dredd just put a couple orders in. I think that put us over. I think what's going on, Mark IV Wolfo? Excuse me. I think that put us to 1,105 or 106. So it's going. I mean, the contest is still going. We're literally 100 entries, like less than 100 entries away to finish this contest. If you guys want free toolboxes with the contest, you will have to chip in. We will have to do 1,400 total paid for entries. So keep that in mind. Delusive, don't worry, man. You have a chance. After this current contest is over, you can win a Corrado. The Corrado that we are building, Delusive, we are giving away. And we want one of our viewers to win it. Anybody in the U.S. can win it. I'm trying to figure out some of the technical difficulties about winning a car outside of the country. but we'll figure that out. I mean, but yes, the Corrado that we are building here in my garage or driveway is one that we are giving away, Delusive. So be for sure updated on that. For everybody who donated on my last live stream, you guys all got 5 entries, just so you guys know, each. I appreciate the donations. It actually helped us get ready to order the water to air intercooler, because that's what it ended up turning out to be, that you guys want to get a water to air intercooler on the Corrado. I wasn't surprised because it's different and it's very functional. It's very low maintenance, and currently I believe it's something that everybody would actually be excited for on a car, because it's different. It's not a typical intercooler that everybody sees out there. So it's something really exciting to me personally, because it's so different. Actually, no, you know what? I'm actually stand corrected. We are 85 votes in, and the front mount intercooler is actually at 39%. So, okay, I stand corrected. It was actually a much, much higher votes towards water to air, but now we're at front mount. So I don't know what to tell you guys. You guys have to make that choice. This isn't my decision. I'm giving you the choices. You guys make the decision on the product. Currently, I'm also giving you guys a heads up. We are working with Sparco for the interior. So my goal with Sparco to work with them, hopefully we're going to get seats, a steering wheel, pedals, shift knob, maybe a shift boot, and a harness from them. So we're trying to get a whole Sparco interior built for that car. I'm very excited if they are willing to work with us. Same with Integrated Engineering. They are definitely on board with this build. So we're going to get a lot of extra cool stuff and cool products for the Corrado for you guys. So definitely, please be excited for that, because I'm going to put a lot of cool Integrated Engineering and parts in there. And I hope you guys know Integrated Engineering is quality stuff. So I don't know if you guys ever own anything from them, but when you put parts from them in your car, it makes a difference. It definitely does. Even when it comes down to minimal stuff, it's worth its weight in gold, guys. So we're definitely going to get the Integrated Engineering intake manifold. We're going to get all the billet parts that go on the valve cover, the crankcase. We're going to make our own custom catch can for that car. I don't want to go with an IE catch can. It's one of those things I like to make my own stuff when it comes to that. That way I have my own personal placement and my own personal touch to the car. We're going to be using, if we get a good enough deal, we'll try to throw in an IE timing gear, an IE tensioner setup, and a bunch of other IE stuff. Rods for sure from IE. Maybe some other, I'll see what else they offer for this car, but it's something that I want you guys to get involved with and get excited for, because it's not very often that these big companies look at these little us little guys, these little guys like me on YouTube, and are interested in it. So I want you guys to share this channel, get excited for it, because once the KO4 Turbo Kit is gone, and that stupid red car in the back that's sitting back there, well, I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's not my car. Once that Jetta is out of my driveway, built and done, the Corrado is officially next. The Jetta literally needs only a couple minutes of work. A couple hours of work, and it's done. It's ready to get some road time. But because of that, tomorrow I'm waiting on one part to come in for that Jetta, because I'm going to be filming for you guys, as requested, the power steering relocation and the coolant ball delete kit. Those are also new products that will be coming up on my online store very, very soon for you guys. And it's going to be a very affordable kit. It's going to come with everything you need to relocate your power steering and hide it instead of it being in the way, and deleting your coolant ball and making your own custom radiator system on the other side for you guys. It's a very cool kit that I'm going to be putting together. Now, what's really nice, it's going to be a customizable kit. It's going to give you the option just to relocate your power steering if you don't want to delete the coolant ball, or just delete your coolant ball. I'm going to let you guys be able to modify your own kit and put it all together to place the order. Everything is going to come for you guys. I'm going to have an aluminum filler neck. I'm going to offer clamps, proper radiator cap for it, the bracket to hide and relocate your power steering, the proper power steering return hose that you're going to need, all the clamps. On top of that, it's also going to come with a DIY video. Obviously, you guys just go to my YouTube channel and find the DIY, but that's my point. That way, when you buy the kit, you're not in the dark. You're like, oh, how do I do this? Don't worry. You're going to have a video on how to walk you through it from beginning to end. Easy, super easy to do. On top of that, I'm looking in to making clip-on loops for you guys so your lights don't come up on your dash. It's not a resistor. You literally need a paper clip, but my idea is to buy the other pigtails, go to junkyards and get the pigtails for you guys, pop them on so you guys can have them in the kit, or you can buy them separately. It's going to be a cool setup. Trust me on this. I'm making it as easy as possible for you guys, because I know it's, plug and play is what you guys want, and that's what I'm going to try to create for you guys. Since it's going to be super niche, this kit, so it's not going to be like a kit that I'm going to be able to offer all the time, because I have to make this stuff by hand. But it'll be cool if I can get a hold of some of this stuff as often as I can. Now, besides that, do you guys have any other questions for me tonight? Today is open. We're open book. So if you guys are excited for anything, please comment. Make a comment and talk, and let's see what's going on. How's everybody doing during this huge pandemic we have going on still? Unfortunately, it's still going on, and since we are opening up the country back up, it's actually gotten a little kind of cool that we can do things again, but it's actually not going away. We've actually noticed some more people getting sick from it, so it's kind of sucks. So we're hoping we're not having a rebound for it, I'm excited for that. I've been wanting to do all the relocation and ball delete. Awesome, Mark IV Wolf. What's the best place to get used MK4 parts? Junkyards. I agree, Delusive. It is hard to get a job right now, man. Don't get me wrong, because a lot of people who actually do have jobs, and the people that don't actually got laid off, which is so sucky. I actually was in a huge. I'm holding up pretty decent, Mobbin. I'm holding up good. I'm back to work. I'm working my 5 days a week. So I'm not as much online or doing YouTube stuff, but I'm definitely putting my foot forward and my effort on my days off. Like tomorrow, my days off for a while are going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm going to do my best to have new videos up Tuesdays and Thursdays for you guys as fast as I can, as fast as I make them. I'm going to be posting videos. On top of that, we are going to be doing some more stuff with my machine shop with Paradise Motorsports. Our goal is to do some cool stuff with the Corrado and some cool stuff with that Jetta. We're going to be doing some dynoing. We're going to be doing a lot of tuning and stuff to see what more we can get out of that motor with the KO4, and then work our way up to a big turbo. But that's some cool stuff that we have planned for for coming up. And then we got currently anybody in the San Diego area. If you guys are interested, if you own a Mark 7, okay, a Volkswagen MK7, Jetta, GTI, whatever MK7, as long as it's not a TDI, it just has to have a 2.0 T. If you guys are interested, I can probably get you guys a free tune from Integrated Engineering, so I can get you guys tuned. But the catch is that we have to film the whole thing and have some fun with it. If anybody guys are interested in the San Diego area, I will be able to give you guys a free tune as long as we do some fun filming and a lot of cool fun stuff with the car and get the car tuned afterwards. I'm very interested if you guys are interested. It's a big plus for a lot of my viewers. So get excited, because Integrated Engineering is going to be helping us with that. So please stay tuned when I announce that officially. I've been trying to find the shifter stuff for my 5-speed swap. I'm doing on my O2 1.8 GTI. Okay, Colt Albert, do you know what you need by chance? Because that's a lot of work, man. Hopefully, you're going from another manual to a different manual. Because if you're going from an automatic to a manual, you're gonna have a hell of a time to get that done. In all honesty, it's probably gonna be cheaper and less hassle to get rid of your car, unfortunately, and get a car with the 5-speed transmission already in it. Due to the fact of the crazy stuff you got to get going to make a 5-speed work on a non. Okay, so you're going auto. So you do know you're gonna have to change out the firewall because it's not a bolt-on. The cluster and all that has to be swapped. You got to change out your brake system. You got to convert all of that so it can work with your clutch and with the other stuff. You do know you're going to need a manual wire harness, not an automatic wire harness for that car. You're going to need axles. You're going to need the shift box from a 5-speed. I'm trying to think what else you're going to need. You might have to change out your radiator for a manual transmission radiator. I can't remember, depending on the year. Some of them did or did not have to do that. Let's see. You're going to need the manual transmission mount to mount your actual transmission into the engine bay, because on automatics they have a weird flat mount that doesn't work with the 5-speed manual transmission. So, okay, that's good. If you got it from a Beetle, you got to make sure you need the wire harness and the ECU from that car, by the way. Just you can't use the automatic transmission ECU. And then the ECU from the Beetle, you're going to have that have the immobilizer removed off of that ECU. Okay? You can't. It's not a plug-and-play ECU. You have to have the immobilizer deleted. That way, when you pop in your key, the car will turn on. If not, it'll just turn right off. It won't stay on. So that's very, very important, okay? I've done these swaps before, and I will never do them again. They're such a pain in the butt. It's personally not recommended to do them. They suck. I hate doing them. You know, when you could go buy a Mark IV, you know. Yes, you will need a cluster as well. Yes, that's correct. But if you get, well, yeah, you're going to need the cluster because you want the RPMs as well. Yeah. That's definitely something you ought to get. But a lot of your headache will be cleared up, just so you know, Colt, when you get the immobilizer deleted, okay? Because then once the ECU immobilizer is deleted, it doesn't matter what key you put in there. It'll turn on no matter what. It's not going to look for the chip on the key. Oh, man, Marvin. The question is not how hard, is how much money you got, man. That's a lot of money to do. A lot of money. You can get the all-wheel drive, all that stuff pretty cheap. It's really not that hard to get the stuff you need. It's getting it done. Okay, so here's your car, right? Let's assume this is the all-wheel drive car. The back drivetrain back here, and pretty much pan, this whole pan back here. So from like where the hood latch under and where the wheel was, you need all of this. You need all of this from the all-wheel drive car. Okay? You need to cut that all out. Whole bottom end and everything. Everything that comes off of this car has to come off with you. Okay? So for example, in Europe and Canada, they made all-wheel drive Jettas and GTIs. They're called Bora Rs. aka R32 or just a Bora R. They made those. You can buy the rear end from Europe, okay? Buy the rear end, which has everything you need with the diff, and then you grab all that and have them chop out that whole back end for you. They ship that over. On your car, you're going to chop out that whole back end, the same exact back end of this car, chop it out, put in the other one, weld every single nook and cranny, and then reinforce that whole weld. Okay. Once you have that all reinforced and welded in, there's your all-wheel drive. Now, sounds simple, but it's not. When you move that whole system over, you have to fabricate all that. You have to weld and grind and weld and grind and then build supports to reinforce that frame, because obviously your old frame isn't designed for a wheel-wheel drive or all-wheel drive support. So it doesn't have all that reinforcement strength in the back. So it's a lot of work. The transmission you can get from R32, or you can also, again, get the drivetrain, the entire drivetrain transmission from that car. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Three Bowman? That whole drivetrain from that car will have to be swapped over. And then by the time you're done, you're at $5,000 to almost $7,000 in fabrication work. Why? Why? Just because you gave yourself all-wheel drive? Just save yourself enough money and go buy a cheap Subaru with all-wheel drive and call it a day. You know, enjoy that. You know, it's blasphemy. I agree. It's definitely blasphemy. But by the time you're done to get it to where you want, you probably either too much money, or you giving up, or an Audi with Quattro. Yeah, exactly. Perfect answer. What a spick. Colt, I know you want to do the swap, Colt, but it's not worth it, man. I know it sucks. I mean, I'm always positive towards these things, but by the end of the day, your cost is just not worth it, or the amount of time you're going to invest is also not worth it. It's really sucky. You know, like I said, I've done them multiple times, and every single time, most of my friends or people have given up towards the end of it, and they're like, "Why did we do it? We could have just spent the money on a Mark IV for like $1,800 that had the manual transmission." I mean, they're a dime a dozen out here in San Diego, man. I can go buy a Mark IV manual 5-speed with the 1.8T or a VR for under $2,000 all day. You know, I know it sucks to tell you this, Colt, but yeah. You know, what I would do, I mean, you have a good engine. You know, I would personally pull the motor out of that car. Yeah, unless you want it for a show car, you know. I mean, I would pull the motor out of that car and save it up and start building that, you know, and get ready for another car to dump it into. That'd be a cool project. You know, get a nice fresh motor, and that way when you get another car with a good trans, slap that stuff together and you got yourself a car for another lifetime. You know, that's a good plan. Again, manual swaps are only worth it if you have an entire car. Okay, you got it for $700. That's a good deal. But again, your issue is your ECU, okay? So you got to understand that your ECU, you're complaining that's going to cost you $400 to do that on an ECU. You got to pay to play, buddy. I know it sucks, man. I know it really does suck, but you got to understand what you're getting yourself into, you know? A lot of this stuff isn't easy and it isn't cheap when you start doing these swaps. Agreed. Junkyards are your friend, but Three Bowman, he has a full donor car. He got everything from, so technically he's only in $700. But the problem is that it's not the ECU that he needs to spend money on. He has to get the immobilizer deleted so he can put any ECU in his car to work with his setup. You can't just dump an ECU in and expect the car to run with the key that's designed for that car. You cannot reprogram an auto transmission ECU for a manual transmission, unfortunately, Colt. That's not a thing you can do, unfortunately. So those are the things you really have to get yourself ready for, man. It sucks. It does really, really suck, but that's what happens. And if you're honestly, if you're gonna get an ECU reprogram for that setup, you're gonna spend even more money. You have to think about tuning and all that. Tuning isn't cheap. I mean, you're gonna end up spending $300 to $400 on just a tune, and by the end of the day, you can't even use it because it's for an automatic transmission. You can't reprogram it for a manual. You can't disable those features. That ECU has a hard chip to control the automatic transmission shifting functions. Exactly. Hondas are a little different. they're so basic. I mean, they're literally lawnmowers, man. So they're so easy to reprogram. They're easy to do swaps on and stuff like that. I mean, they're designed like that. But when it comes to our cars, they're a little over engineered, a little bit more difficult to work with. They're not as plug and play as most people would want. That's for sure. Nice, Bowman. That's the way to go. Smaller is better. Yeah. Oh, dude, a wagon. Oh, I want a Mark IV wagon so bad right now. What a spick. Well, what a spick. Two things fall under the resistors. This guy, you know how expensive your K-swap's going to be? You think your $700 swap was cheap? Have fun with that K-swap, buddy. Man. This guy. Trying to get the motor mount, the transmission mount, all that. I mean, yeah, $2,000 for a swap. I mean, for your car for 2 points, yeah. See that's a good deal actually for a 2 point slow. But I want a 1.8 or a VR in a wagon for sure. For what a spick, I gotta answer your question. I'm sorry, I got distracted there, buddy. So the reason why you need resistors when you do the SI delete, seriously, Bowman. Well, the reason why you need resistors for an SI delete is because the car won't run right. The car is looking for certain sensors to run, which control the certain fueling trims. So the resistors trick the car that those sensors are there, so it'll readjust the fuel trims correctly, based off due to smog functionality. Now, that being said, if you're gonna do an SAI delete, you might as well find someone that can tune the car and just delete all of it out of your car. That way, when you do your SIA delete, you don't need to buy resistors. You save your money on that. Just go buy some caps and a couple hoses, and you're good. Save yourself actually some cheddar. The only reason why most people go the resistors because they don't want to spend the money on a tune. They cheap out. You know, obviously you want to go nice clean engine bay and you get resistors. Yeah, it's fine, 100% fine. I don't know, Delusive. It depends on when the last time the timing kit was done and how well it was done. But yeah, my whole reasoning behind this is when you do the what's the word? The SAI delete. Personally, yep, Boost Dynamic will do that for you. Exactly. They'll tune it out. That's the better option. Instead of buying your resistor kit, ship out your ECU, have them delete the immobilizer, have them delete all the smog stuff out of the ECU. Then, once you're done, and he ships back, clean up your engine bay, pop in your ECU, you're done. Don't need to buy resistors. You don't have to spend that $70 for that kit. I bought the GTI for $700 and the Beetle engine and trans and axles pedals for $400. I mean, that's a good deal, dude. But again, you bought an automatic Volkswagen. You bought a headache, man. That's just to be honest with you. You bought a pretty big headache when you're trying to go from automatic to a manual. You know, coming from experience, I don't recommend doing it just due to the fact that how much stuff you have to buy. You still need, you got to remember, Colt, you still need to buy a different brake reservoir. So in other words, your master cylinder has to be different. It's all right, man. It's we're having fun, Colt. That's all it's about. You know? Got to learn how to take a joke every now and then, you know? But your better option is to remember you got to get the master cylinder from your car. And then once you get the master cylinder, you also have to get the stuff for your clutch. There's a whole assembly that comes out of that clutch that runs fluid, and then that whole assembly has to come out. What's going on, Vin? Hey, there's a whole assembly that comes out of there, man, and you can't just do just a transmission. There's more to your swap than just those parts. So you have to definitely keep track of that. By the time you're done, I mean, you're going to be $1,000 deep and you're not even have the car put together. You know what I mean? So you really have to really, really think about what you're doing before you fork out all that cheese. When you do an SAI delete in general, you won't pass smog, period. The SAI is deleting your entire smog equipment. So be ready to figure out how to smog your car. Ooh. And now that the laws are getting worse and worse in California, I don't know how easy it is going to be able to smog yourself. Cool. Definitely want to see that. Vin. Oh, Vin is the one that we shipped to the UK, right? With the custom vent pod. The one we put VIN on it.
He's local.
Was he local? Oh, okay. Big thanks on my vent gauge pod. I had to get a new vent housing. Now I realized I had the lay flat ones. Nice. To get in my yep. Very cool, Vin. Oh, he's in Virginia. Okay.
Yeah,
3 Bowman. Me know a cousin that knows a friend who does illegal puff. That's so true. Yeah, I know a guy that knows a guy knows a guy, or I just go to another state and just get my car registered there. He never came by, huh?
No, he had a bunch.
Oh, that sucks. So, I don't know if you guys saw the new product on my online store, but to show you guys again, there's a Mark IV GTI for you guys. This is a 1:34 scale. It's meant to use one of these little cheap little toy cars at 1:34 scale. Hey, kind of random question, but will you be able to keep my stock? Will I be able to keep my stock oil and coolant lines when installing my F23, or should I get new ones? When you get an F23 turbo, that's technically that turbo comes off of the Audi TT 225. It's a completely different oil line and coolant line setup. So you're going to need to get the lines off an Audi TT 225. Okay, guy? Okay, Vin? You need the feed line that goes there. You need the coolant return. The coolant return, the oil return. You need everything, all the oil lines from that, and the lower bracket if you don't want your bolts to back out all the time. Ask me how I know. Hey, where do I get this cheap toy car? I got this from CVS. CVS or Rite Aid sells these little cheap $5 cars. Huh? I think no, Walgreens didn't have them. They don't sell them there. So you get this little cheap $5 car, and you buy my cheap little $10 MK2 mold that I created here. You unbolt the whole bottom of this. You sand down the bottom of this. You might have to chop the middle, chop it in half, and glue it back together to fix the gap. Again, if you guys are handy, because there's a little bit of a gap, you have to shorten the wheelbase a little bit. But, I mean, you can do it in a couple minutes. It shouldn't be that. I'm actually going to do this tonight. I'm excited to actually do this little toy car tonight and swap it over to this. I'm trying to figure out how to do it bigger, but I can't. So 1999 A2 GTI. Hey, how's the MK2 build coming along? MK2 build is on pause right now because the Corrado has taken priority. Sorry, buddy. However, if you're waiting for DIYs for Mark II, The cool thing is the Corrado is identical to a Mark II, besides the way it looks. So I do have a lot more videos coming for that. Once the Corrado is done, I'm immediately going straight to the Mark II and finishing that up. But obviously, since I work now full time again, that's kind of slowing down on priorities. All right. So just so you know. So hopefully that answers your question, buddy. Another thing that we are doing by request, email me if you guys have my email. We are making little statues or busts. I hope you guys know who this is. This is Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. My buddy requested this. Oh, yeah, man. It's going to be a lot of work to do that, buddy. You don't understand. I did it once with my friend. I ain't never doing it again. It took way too long to do that. And it was not. It was easier for me to pull his engine. I did it on my car, pulling the engine, and it was just boop, 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 in and out, and I was done in a day. His car took us almost 3 days in total just because of the amount of space and orientation. It's a B to do inside the car, but it's doable. No one said it's not. It's definitely doable, but it's definitely a lot of work, man. It's going to be a lot of work. So please be patient when you do that build, when you do that turbo swap. So Mark IV GTI is available now on my online store. MK2 GTI big bumper available now on my online store for figures for all you model builders. Would you reuse transmission bell housing bolts or recommend replacing them with new ones? No, you can reuse those. They're not stretch bolts, so those are reusable, man. Stretch bolts are the ones you're not allowed to reuse. Man, I need some eye drops. How does the Optiworks front bumper fit? Works pretty. I mean, have you seen my car? Have you seen my Mark IV GTI, my white car? That whole car is Optiworks. Front bumper, side skirts, and rear bumper. All of that's from Optiworks. Now, that being said, I did spend about 2 to 3 hours of sanding to get the fitment right. I did a lot of cutting on the bumper because of my intercooler setup. So I had to cut the crap out of that bumper. But that was pretty much it. If I had a basic front mount intercooler, all I did was sand down the sides, the inner sides and the top before I sent it out for paint. I did a lot of sanding and grinding to get that fitment just right, but it only took me about 2 hours of work and a face mask and a lot of itchy skin because that fiberglass is itchy as all hell. Now, that was 2 hours per bumper, okay? So 2 bumpers, 4 hours, not bad. But I got the fitment on point on my car with a little bit of work. Yeah, no, it looks good, dude. Do it right, and it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. That kit is, those bumpers from them are worth their weight. I mean, worth their cost. They're totally worth it. I got their wide fender kit for. I got their really, really wide fender flares for my Mark II. I just haven't had time to put those on either. They've just been sitting in the car for almost a year now. So, but definitely worth every penny, man, for those bumpers. Definitely worth it. I mean, it's better than buying an OEM R32 bumper that's like $800 a bumper, you know? This guy says, well, I sell my GTI. No. Money. Oh. I just saw some spit. In this house, money doesn't talk, buddy. Sorry. None of my cars are for sale. Not a single one. We sold the wagon because we hated the wagon.
No, I love the wagon.
Well, we loved the wagon, but we hated the wagon all at the same time. But my Mark IV will never sell. I will never. I went through 4 of them. 4 of them, man. I would never sell that car. Okay, Vin.
We need it for the next one.
Hmm?
We need it for the next one.
Yeah, pretty much. We need it for the next car the next time we wreck it, pretty much, because apparently that's a thing we do. Vin, You're gonna have to chop down any bumper when you run a front mount. And honestly, that's correct. I had to chop down a decent amount of my stock bumper when I exactly, man. So why not? When you put so much time and hard work into your car, it always going to be worth more than anyone wants to offer. That is 100% the truth. Again, I get people who honestly, I had someone offer me, I think about like 25,000 for my bus. I mean, me and my wife, we spent 4,000 on it, and we put in like 10 into it. I said instantly, no. The car's not even done. It just got a paint job, body restoration, and an engine, and that's it. And I still don't even have an interior. And I got offered almost 20 or 25,000, and I instantly say no. Would I get a BMW? No, never get a BMW. To all the people that I've known that own a BMW, no. I thought Volkswagens were a pain in the butt. Own a BMW, then tell me another story. Again, to each their own. That's my personal opinion. That's hell to the nah. You know, one of my things is one of the things that I'm very, very passionate about is the Volkswagen brand. And the reason why is just because the brand itself is not about the cars, honestly. It's 100% the people. The cars come second for me. I love all my cars, don't get me wrong. But the reason why I'm stuck with these cars is because of the people. The people make me want to keep these cars. And these cars keep the people hanging around me because of these cars. It's, you know, it's a kind of an intertwined, you know, thing here, you know. So I'm okay with that, you know. Mob and Euro, cop a G-Wagon. I don't like the Mark 8 body. Oh my God, that is such an ugly monstrosity. It is not a cool car. I take the Mark 6 GTI all day over a Mark 8. I don't care how much more power there is to the Mark 8. The Mark 6 is, in comparison, is a beautiful car. In comparison to the 8. The Mark 7 is like, you know, but the 6, dude, they got that body right. But again, it's not the car I want to drive personally. I don't. Right now, we have a Mark 7 or a Mark 8 outside that we have as a loaner car from the dealership. I hate it. I hate it. It's fancy. It has all these bells and whistles and things, and it has cameras on the front and in the back. I'm all like, can I just turn on the car and go? You know, it's got an electronic brake. I'm all like, dear God, I got to remember all these procedures for liftoff to turn on this stupid car.
It feels kind of cheap too.
And it feels cheap on the inside, yeah. You know, I go to my bus, I pull this giant lever that's in front of me, and push it in, and then turn the car on. You know? That's it. I gotta pump it. I gotta give it some gas and be like, I sit there and be like, come on, 40-year-old car. Come on. It's from the 70s. So how old is that? 40 or 50 years? 40, huh? Yeah, it's 40. 71.
It's almost 50.
It's almost 50 years old, yeah. So yeah, my 1971 Volkswagen bus. I sit in there, I'm all like, I gotta pump it like 3 or 4 times before I crank it, and then go, all right, it turns on, and then it's all I'm like, dude, so much satisfaction. And then you just sit there. You just sit there and you wait for it to warm up before you can even leave your driveway. You know? That's awesome. I love it. It's so much character, so much soul is in that vehicle alone, you know? And I can only go 65 miles an hour, maybe 70, you know? Then over-engineered, I prefer older cars because they're more simple, easy, plus it means less dumb problems. Exactly. Still dumb problems, but just less. I agree. Mark IV Wolf, yeah, I don't like all the new technology on a car, honestly. It's simple, less things to break down. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, those are good cars. I agree. And I still drive my 71 Volkswagen bus. I put away my Mark IV GTI. It's literally in my neighbor's garage, just sitting there. It's just sitting in the back. I said, whatever. Put away my 400 horsepower GTI, and I'm driving my 60, 70 horsepower, 60, 70 horsepower bus, and I love it. It gets great gas mileage. I get 24 to almost 28 miles to the gallon on this car from the 70s. It's great, and it has an awesome noise. It makes so much cool noises. I love it. Yeah, that's right, Mackenzie. I love Mark IVs. Mark IVs are awesome. They're like right there. They're the borderline old and almost new car. You can get a Mark IV with almost nothing in it. I love it. Especially like the 2.0s. You can get it with manual windows, no radio, freaking no AC, just a heater. Awesome car. I mean, and that's what I want to get. I actually want to get a 2.0 a Mark IV. And I want a 4-door. I really want a 4-door Mark IV GTI, a Mark IV Golf. Swap everything over from my Mark IV and put that over, or just build that one. I really want a 4-door. I think the Mark IV Golf 4-door is a unique looking car, honestly. Yeah, go for it, dude. I'll share it with everybody on here. For sure, who had a spick, I definitely would share it. Hold on. What's up, Tiny? Man, glad you joined the party, buddy. Yeah, we still have your stuff.
Got me nervous about it.
Exactly. Ooh, 4.6 liter Cobra. Me like. Back in my high school days, I had a Ford Mustang 5.0 Cobra. It was a 5-liter Cobra convertible. It was given to me. Wasn't my choice car. It was given to me, and then I sold it like pretty much like 4 or 5 months for a bug. Yep. My first car was a Mark IV 2.0 Jetta. I got a 24 valve GTI. Still have them both, and they both have 260K. Hell yeah. Yeah, the Elusive was a Fox body, 5.0 Fox body with the convertible top. Mackenzie, what got you into printing these cool ass things, and how does it work? I've always wondered. Well, are you talking about the little cars that I'm printing, or are you talking about my actual like 3D print stuff, like the stuff that I use with actual ABS plastic? That's a very specific question, or a very open question. Yeah, dude. They're gas guzzlers, dude. Those 5.0s, no balls, but sucked all the electricity. Honestly, both. Okay, so okay, I can explain one at a time. So the ones that I make my online products, like my vent covers, my gauge pods, my seatbelt covers, my wiper nut covers, my wiper deletes, all those parts I make with what we call filament printers. Now, a filament printer is a printer that prints with plastic. A little different than okay. So this is how the plastic comes. My Bronco. Okay, so this is what we call filament plastic. You see this? It's very thin. It comes in a 1.75 millimeters in diameter. It comes in different materials, different brands, obviously. We use a company here in the United States called Pro PLA from 3D Fuel. The name of the company is 3D Fuel, and they make a thing called Pro PLA. This is good stuff for basic 3D printing. And this prints with lines. That's how it prints, like one line at a time. And it does multiple layers. And it goes in circles. The printer itself goes left and right, and then the table goes front and back like that. And then, it does that, making the circles by going left and right like that. Okay? That's what we call a filament printer. Now, my new printer is called SLV SLV printer. Now that's super, super different, way different and much more precise. Now these printers can print to, I believe, 0.04 millimeters in accuracy, which is very thin. I mean, you got to think about how tiny the 0.04 is. It's very, very tiny. Okay. Now think about that little tiny number and then multiply that by another thousands. That's how my other printer over there, right there, it's chilling right there. That's called an SLV printer. Now that printer prints using light. Okay, very different than this one using a nozzle that squirts ink, squirts plastic in circles. Okay, that one uses a DOP light, so it uses like a projector, and that projector shoots a light with heat in it. That heat is precise. How precise? 0.004. Okay, so 0.004 thousandths of an inch. That's legitimately 1,000 times more detail than what this thing can print. Meaning, okay, see this? Oh, and this. Okay, so you see this? This is 3D printed with filament. And as you can see in the design, there's little lines in there. You can see them. There's lines. And those are layer lines, okay? That's what we call layer lines with the printer. This was printed very low quality due to the fact because I was selling these. See? Okay? These are really cool, but again, these were just giveaways, and we were selling some of these every now and then. These face masks. And you can see the layers. Again, you can see the layers on each one. Now, SLV is the one that I currently use. This is for printing stuff with very, very high accuracy. And you almost can get something what we call like an injection mold print. Super cool because you get detail like this. You see that? This is super small. You got to keep in mind to scale. It didn't break. To scale, this is my hand, okay? So you got to see how small that is. And then if you look, you can see the moldings on the door handle, that. If you look in the back, you can see the tail light markings. You can see where the license plate to. Yes, this is a Mark II. You can see the mirrors, okay? If you look on the front, you can see the lights. You can see the emblem. It's kind of hard to see them with this cheap camera that I have. But yes, all this is printed with light. It's not printed using heat and stuff like that. $10, buddy. They're on my online store right now if you want to pick one of these up, okay? Thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate that. Correct. These are meant to be painted. These are model cars. They're meant to be painted and get them to how you like them. They're super cool. They're available on my online store for $10 with $8 shipping. The super cool thing is that I made them to scale to these guys. These cheap little toys that you can buy at like CVS, Vons, or for like $5. You can buy these, tear them apart, and swap over the chassis. and you got yourself a cool little car with a chassis and interior. Very cool. Very soon, I'm going to be offering what we call water transfer decals, so you can put your stickers on here and do some cool like decals for these guys. I got to learn how to do that, but it's something I want to do for the online store as well, so you guys can put on your cool stickers and stuff like that. I'm actually trying to find that right now, Dubsworth. That's something I haven't figured out yet. I can't find an engine to 3D print yet. So if you guys are excited for if you guys are into hobbies like this, I do a lot more than just cars. I do custom orders. That's correct. Very soon, the wheels are going to be designed to fit these cars. I'm still working on the scale for them because I'm going to be using this wheel as a scale model. The downside of going this small, though, is I might not be able to print those. But it is something I've considered a lot to do these. Do my custom wheels to these, so I don't know yet. So it's something I'm definitely going to consider. For now, though, it's not a guarantee yet until I can print them and see if they work, pretty much. The wheels that are available right now on my online store, I actually have wheels on there. Currently, yes, I'm only going to be doing Volkswagen models, but I will be releasing, if they sell well, if these sell really well, I will be offering more models down the road. But if I can't sell these, I'm not gonna make more models because not many people are gonna want them, you know. I actually had a couple people ask me for that. That's a very, very big thing to 3D print. Unfortunately, I haven't gone to the scales yet on that, but I have considered making those. Dubsworth, I definitely have. Have you dynoed any of your cars? Yes, I have dynoed some of my cars. I dynoed my white Mark IV. We made 450 to the wheels. I dynoed my Volkswagen Bus, which made 76 horsepower to the wheels, with I think 75 or 80 pounds of torque. I can't remember. But yes, I have dynoed my cars. So again, for McKinsey's question, am I doing all VWs? I'm trying to do as many VW models, but again, it's something that I want to do down the road more and more. MK1 Golf, yes, we will offer an MK1 Golf soon. I do have the MK4 Golf right here. Oh no, that's a 2. This is the Mark. I have a Mark IV Golf available. This is it right here. So this is available on my online store right now. So just so you know, MK4 GTI is available on the online store, and the MK2 GTI Big Bumper is now also available on the online store. Okay. What a spick. What do you think of James Pumper here's MK3? I don't know. Did you send me that picture? Hold on. Big booty MK4. This is funny. So here you go. This is what I got sent. You want to see my R32? That's funny. I find that funny because most people who don't know what an R32 is, they think of a Skyline instead of an R32. That's funny. I like it. That's a good one, Big Booty. Yeah, I like it. Mackenzie, they're $10 a piece plus $8 shipping, okay? If you order more than one, I will not have a Jetta available since I can't get a design for that. The Mark I Golf, I can definitely get it for you if you really want it. let me see if I can find one for you in just a moment. Yeah, but just hold on, I'll offer it. I'm going to tell my friends about you. He builds scale cars. Very cool. Very, very cool. I assume once it's fixed, awesome. I want to see that dyno. Ivan, you should do a 1.18 model and R32 for little cars. I'd love to make model engines, but I don't have the time for all that, man. It's okay. Hello. I find it funny, but again, other people, might not.
I want the Mark II done at some point.
No, we're talking about something
No,
else.
I'm saying time consuming.
Yeah. So if you guys are new to the channel or just tuning in, please remember to go to my community tab page and vote for what type of intercooler you guys want to put on the Corrado, okay? Again, remember, it's your choice. It's not mine. I'm not going to be owning this car. You guys are. So make sure you guys get the modification you guys want on there, okay? Because I'm not going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing the work and buying it, but you guys got to make that decision. Oh, yeah, Tiny. He wants a Mark III. I can't even find a Mark III model to print you, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, that's cool. Donut Media to me is like, like I find them funny sometimes, but a lot of times it's just they do what everybody else does. Unfortunately, they joke around a lot. They provide a lot of information, but they joke around too much. It's not what I like to do. Unfortunately, it's not my forte. But I like their channel. I mean, it's good stuff. How do I come up with the specifications? I don't come up with them, actually. These are not my models. 100% not my models, not my design. These are actually, I buy the designs from a 3D designer, because if I designed this, it would not look like this at all. I'm not that good in 3D modeling. I buy this from a guy online, and he sells the files to make these, and then I make them. I make them here. I do all the hard. I do all the printing and designing part. The printing. I don't do any of the actual modeling for these. Okay, so I definitely get people asking me that, and I'm being honest. These are not my designs. The cool thing though is that I can scale them. I can make them larger. However, for my machine that I print on, I cannot make them very large. I can only go about maybe another ½ inch bigger than this, and that's it. Not much bigger than this. So it sucks because I really want to make them bigger, but it's not really a choice I have because of the limitations of that machine. They're not very large. As you can see, here's Solid Snake that I 3D printed for a friend. The white stuff is just residue. You got to wipe it off with some alcohol, but you guys can see like the amount of detail in this 3D print. This is 3D printed, guys. And you can't see any lines at all. This is super cool. Yeah, and you look at the detail of the face. It sucks the camera won't focus, but so it's very, very cool. No, man, I can't scan them and print them. I don't have that kind of technology. It's not that easy. I wish it were that easy. These guys, the guy who does these actually draws them by hand. He draws them and uses 3D modeling software to make these. These are not. Again, these are not easy. That's impressive. It's going to be nuts what 3D printing can do in 10 years. Exactly. Mackenzie, good stuff, man. I'm definitely interested in buying whatever models you can print. I've been watching your video of the wire tuck on the engine bay carefully. It's super helpful. I'm glad you enjoy it. It is super helpful. It's thorough. That's how I like to be. A lot of my videos are very, very thorough and to the point. And I also make sure that you guys understand that it's at your own risk, Have fun, though. Definitely have fun. All right. Well, we're going on an hour already. All right, guys. Any other questions? Please ask, because if not, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to tear apart this poor little Fiat 500. I probably could. I just need an actual new Beetle vent to do the design, but it shouldn't be that hard for me to make. You know. What turbo? I have a custom made one from custom ordered from a company called SPA Turbo. Would I give away my GTI? This guy. Ivan, you come up with the weirdest questions, man. No, I will not do that. Have I put a VR6 in a Mark II? No, I have not. Me waiting for VR info. It's okay, Ivan. It's just funny. Some of your questions are very interesting. That's all. I just find it funny. Very curious about you, Ivan. Just curious, how much does it cost to buy a 3D printer and upkeep in general? I've been interested in buying one, but not sure if I actually be worth it if I'm not selling stuff. Well, there's not a lot of upkeep. There's a lot of patience involved in 3D printing because see this right here? See this? This took 4 hours to print on the SLV printer. On a filament printer, it'd probably take about 5 hours or maybe 7 hours, maybe longer. Who knows? Now you got to keep in mind that your failure rate on a filament printer is pretty high. A lot of variables involved in the printer when it does its job. For any reason, it can fail by something just by bumping it, or it can lose its alignment and then it's done. The print will fail. So what a lot of people do with 3D printers, they put webcams in them, and they can log into their webcam and monitor the progress of their print, when they're busy out doing other stuff. All my printers right here, I have them set up with one webcam facing all of them, and then they all have what we call Wi-Fi switches, so I can turn it on and off the printer at any point in time, just in case the print fails. Ivan, don't worry, VRs are coming. You must be patient because we just scratched the surface of 1.8Ts, man. VRs are another thing I want to build and show you guys how to build them. But I keep getting cars with 1.8Ts, so I can't tell you that. This channel, my YouTube channel is very, very 1.8T, obviously. But if I ever get a VR, there's no reason not for me to post VR stuff. It's just I don't get VRs. I don't get people that come here with VRs. That's just the nature of it. Why? I don't know. I honestly don't know why a lot of my friends don't have VRs. Sorry, Ivan. Oh, again, the upkeep. Again, the upkeep is kind of up and down. The other printer that I use, it sucks. The upkeep on that thing is super sucky because when you 3D print it, it's in on average, probably $2,000 to $4,000 easy, depending on what you're looking for in the rebuild. Yes, I can, but I don't know how they will turn out. I've never printed something that smaller. That's like half the size of this. AGTI. I think I can print it. I mean, I'll probably give it a try. Hot Wheel size. I'll just do some measurements and see if I can do it. Why not? Yeah. It's always hit or miss, man. With 1.8Ts and VRs, I mean, always hit or miss. I mean, Ivan, I'm willing to do a VR build all day. I would love to do a VR build and film it. Believe me, I think a lot of my viewers as well would love that, would love something a little different than a 1.8T. You know what I mean? I have no problems with that, man. And again, it's not something that's uncommon. It's just in our area, we have more 1.8Ts than we do have VR6s. It's just what it is. Smooth 1002. We are 1005, 1007, I believe. No, 1100 1,105 or 1,107 entries. Just so you know, Smooth.
Close.
Agree. Yeah. Um, do you though KB sound better than a 1.8T? No. A K engine does not sound better. That sounds like a lawnmower, buddy. Tiny, I want that VR from you, buddy. VRs are fun. Not having to wait for a turbo to spool up, but it'll take that max boost over any VR. Yeah, I agree. No, I do not think a VR sounds better than a 1.8. I mean, yes, VRs do sound better than a 1.8T, but you didn't write that before, Nick Gardner. You put, do you though KB sounds better than a 1.8T? So I thought maybe you said K swap, or a K series engine. That's what I thought, but it's okay. Now you correct yourself. No, VRs sound 1,000 times better than a 1.8T. 1,000 times better all day. 1.8Ts, I guess, in comparison to other 4-cylinder engines, I think sound better than most 4-cylinder engines. That turbo gives it a whole different noise to the exhaust versus a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder car. That's for sure. But VR, I take a VR sound all day over a 1.8T. VR power, dude. Sácate pa' allá. VR power, nothing. Until you put a turbo on that thing, you ain't got no power. I know you do, Tiny. I want that setup. Your VR, I mean, it's cute. Oh, you're talking about that block that has all that water in it and the rust, Tiny? The one you left outside? That's the one you're going to give me?
It's free.
He's all still runs. Just needs a little TLC. He's all, yeah. I know which motor you're talking about. I saw those pistons filled with rust. It's not what I want.
Make it a planner.
They would, though. I know what I have. Yeah, like everybody else on freaking Facebook trying to sell a car. It would be a fun project to restore a beat up VR6. That would be a fun project. You know what we should do? We should crowdfund that. I would definitely do that build. I would do a crowdfund and then give it away to anybody. What do you guys think? You think you guys want to do a crowdfunded build?
After the Mark II.
No, I'm talking. No, the Mark II doesn't. I mean, just talking about just the engine.
That'd be good for another giveaway.
I mean, is anybody willing to be a guinea pig for a VR6 rebuilt that's been in the rain? Nick Gardner, how fast have I gone in a GTI? Put it this way. I got to the point where the speedometer doesn't tell me how fast I'm going anymore. So I don't know how fast I've gone. 3 Bowman. I'm selling a Mark IV Jetta with eBay parts, $6,000. I know what I have. Yeah. That's pretty quick. I'm going way faster than that. But I stopped. It was scary. How much boost can you push on a KO3? 18, maybe 20 pounds max. I know I've heard of some people pushing 22 PSI, but I wouldn't do that. I know the max on a KO3S is like, I think 18 to 22. But again, that's a 20-year-old turbo, man. I don't know if you want to push that much power. Matt Ecker, no, yes, there's a couple people that mess with TDIs. We have a TDI, we have a Mark IV TDI and a Mark VI TDI, and I've been learning how to play with those. They're stupid easy engines to work with. The current build we have on our Outlander, we got injectors, we got bigger injectors and a tune from Kerma TDI. The injectors cost us about $500, and the tune was free with our sponsorship with Kerma. We made about 250 pounds of torque and almost 100 horsepower on our TDI. And that thing is stupid quick for how lifted and big-ass tires that thing is. Quick car. It's impressive on what you can do with just a little bit of money on that car. When you're on a budget, coilover is like I am. 100 is fast enough. Just fun enough getting fun. Just fun getting there quicker. Yeah, I agree. You ever mess around with hybrid KO3s? Yes, I have. I had a hybrid KO3 for a little while. I hated it. Wasn't really worth it for the amount of money you spend on it to get it to work really good. I had a hybrid KO4. KO4s are technically hybrid KO3s. They're just much more. They're K-frame turbos is what we call them. And again, they're good. I had a KO4 F23. I had a KO4 F21, which is actually a KO3 and like modified. So yeah. Yeah, exactly, Tiny. Never again. Dude, I went 75 in my bus yesterday, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. That shit was scary. I was like, wow, this thing can do 75 miles an hour. And I was just like, I need to stop. I need to slow down. This is not healthy for me. Yeah, turbos. I've done a lot of different turbos, man. I've done all the K hybrids. I've done GT28s. I've done T3 setups. I mean, I've done a lot of fun turbos. So definitely know my way around turbos. I have upgraded KO3 turbo on my GTI. I downgraded from an F21 because of my KO3. It's just more stable. I don't need all that power, LOL. But I'm going with an F23 on my Jetta soon. Very smart. Good choice in turbo. I like that turbo a lot. Nick Gardner. About said about on pump fuel, you're looking at 18 to 22 PSI on a KO3. I'm down to trade that motor for what? I need spacer. I need spacers for a whole motor and transmission. This guy. Gotta go, man. See you later. Have a good one, Ivan. Have a good one, buddy. Does it matter what turbo I get with the stock engine? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It matters a whole ton. I got to be a little bit more specific with that question, though, because you have a stock engine. Stock engines can handle 300 pounds of torque. That is it. Horsepower does not matter. Remember that. Horsepower is a revolution, how fast you can spin. No one cares about horsepower. Torque is the force you get out of your combustion. Okay? So that force, that movement up and down is what really matters on an engine. That's how you go. That's how the car accelerates. That's how you feel your pull. Horsepower is just how fast you can do it. Okay? Understand the differences here. Torque is what kills engines, okay? Small turbos like KO4s and F23s kill engines, okay? Because they build a lot of torque very fast. And that's what breaks these engines. You'd be surprised how many people that come to me is like, hey, dude, I don't know what happened. I blew my engine. You bent a rod. You ran a KO4 like F23 or an F21 max boost. You fucking bent a rod. I'm sorry, excuse my French, but you bent a rod, and you bent it because you have a stock engine. Okay? You can put 1,000,000 horsepower in that car, but if you have 200 pounds of torque, it's going to take you a very, very long time to get there. But you'll get there. I got a hybrid blow-off valve, diverter. Yeah, okay. Should I run it as a blow-off or just plain diverter? Run it as a diverter. I kind of want the blow-off sound, but I'd prefer to run the setup that performs better. Stick with the diverter valve. Don't go blow-off. That is correct, Mackenzie. Get some IE rods and then turn up the boost. That's all that matters. You can turn up all the boosts with your IE. Once you have IE rods in there, and then you got some SuperTech exhaust valves, minimal, or just upgrade all the valves. Turn up all the boosts. Boost for days, and you'll be fine until you hit 400 horsepower, and then you got to upgrade your valve springs next, because then you're going to have something called valve float, and valve float is not a good thing when you're rotating that fast, because that's what blows. That's what causes bad head. That's what will bend your valves in your head. Yeah, you can make that power with those big modified KO4s. You can make the power, but again, you're gonna break the engine. I mean, with a stock motor, 100%. With that kind of torque, 320 pounds of torque, you're gonna bend the rods in that motor, guaranteed. Now, one day you're like, oh, I want to mash it, and you're gonna, and then there's your bent rod. Okay, Nick Gardner. The amount of boost doesn't matter. Hope you understand. You could put 1,000 psi into an engine, and it'll take it. Understand that? It's the volume of boost. Turbos work by volume, not by the amount of pressure. I hope you understand that. Pressure is just the amount of pressure you dump into that engine. If I have, here's a good example. So I can explain turbos a little bit better to you. I'm going to try to get some examples here. Here we go. Here's my wee little KO3 turbo right here, okay? Let's just say I have 15 pounds of boost, right? On this little turbo over here that I'm holding on my left hand. Okay. And then I come over and I build my engine and I put, or not even build my engine. I just slap a bigger turbo. Here's my GT28. Okay. Okay. So wee little KO3 GT28, both at 10 PSI. All right. Remember that, both at 10 PSI. Who do you think is going to have more power? Okay. Which turbo is going to make more horsepower? The little KO3 at 10 PSI or the GT28 at 10 PSI? No, the air is not more dense. That is incorrect, Gardner. It's not more dense air. The big difference between this little tiny KO3 and this big old GT28, okay, is the amount of air, not the density, the amount of air that goes in. For example, in 2 seconds or say 10 seconds, you're giving it just kind of like a fake number, right? This is not real numbers. For 10 seconds of, 3 seconds, this thing, what's going on, Quorum? This thing will dump in, say, 1/4 gallon of air. Okay, same amount of time. This probably will dump a whole gallon of air for the same amount of time. Okay, that's volume. Okay, that's what makes power. Understand that? Now, even though you have more volume, you still don't have more power because with more air, you need more what? What do you think you need more of when you have more oxygen inside an engine? Who has an answer for me right now? Right now. First person to give me the right answer, Vin. Perfect. Exactly. You need more fuel. Okay? More fuel, more air makes more power. Okay? Not the density. Density is like how compact we can make it. Okay? That's a little different. More volume. You know, my little fist, this big thing, that's going to make your power for you. All right, Nick? That's the sheer amount of volume. Now, density does play a factor in it, okay? Density is a very important factor. That's what intercoolers can come into play, okay? Intercoolers will create the colder air, aka denser air. But the volume is where their power comes in. For example, with the KO3, awesome, Corum, awesome. With a KO3 maxed out at 22 PSI, let's assume you're probably going to make 220 to 230 horsepower. Okay? My turbo, my big turbo that I slap on my car, at 10 PSI, we dynoed 320 horsepower. Okay? 10 PSI. All right? So no, it's not denser, it's volume, dude. Volume. Density is just how compact it is. GT28 has more volume. It pumps way more air faster than a KO3. Yeah, if you ever look, and I'll give you an example. Give me a second here. These guys are always heavy to take out. I'm bringing out the turbos. Okay. Here's a snail. This is a turbo. Okay. This is a T3 Garrett turbo right here. Now, see this right here? This number, AR60. Okay. Okay. So, turbos. See this little snail? This is why we call them snails. All right. Okay. This air that comes in here. Okay. And there's an output here. This AR60. Okay. This turbo, very small billet wheel, pushes more volume than your KO3. But if you see, your KO3 will probably have. All right, Corum, have a good one, buddy. This KO3 and the KO4, I mean, this KO3 and then this T3, you'll notice this has about a similar size impeller wheel, to be honest with you. However, because of these larger cold side and hot side, for that size impeller, I'm going to push more air, okay? A lot more air than your KO3. I'm not going to compress more air. I'm actually going to push more air into it. That's why these are slower at spooling, because there's more air to move. Your benefit is more volume, okay? The density comes in when the intercooler does its job. That's going to compact your air more and give you a more denser, colder air. That's why we like cold air. That's why we want intercoolers with turbos, because you get colder air. That's all it is. It doesn't make more dense. It just makes it colder to make it more dense. But the turbo is giving your volume of air, okay? Now, you see this? This is an AR60. So this is a pretty big turbo. This also has an AR84 hot end. Okay, this back end is even larger, okay, than the cold side, as you can see that. Okay. So you'll see that it's even larger. So I'm getting, for this side, it's going to be slower to spool because I need more air or exhaust on this side to make this spin. Okay, now I'm going to bring you the big boy. This is even bigger. Okay, this is an AR. What is this? I think AR 90 hot side and an AR 60 cold side. Yeah. Okay. So even bigger cold side, same size impeller wheel. Okay. But a much bigger volume of air. Because of this turbo, I was able to make 450 horsepower on only 20 pounds of boost because I was able to dump more volume of air into my cylinder. Not denser air, more air. Okay? Got to keep in mind, density is different than volume. All right? They fall into almost the same categories, but they fall into different definitions. So I was able to make a lot of power on this turbo, even though it took forever to spool. You know, I didn't start making full boost until 4,500 RPMs to make full power. And I'm okay with that because that's the whole point of my build, because I wanted a slow, very casual driver. And then when I wanted to go fast, I can go fast and then kill all the gas. But as a daily, I didn't have to worry about it. This had a much smaller cold side. And the reason why I went to a smaller cold side, because I wanted to spool faster. Smaller cold sides definitely spool a lot faster than hot side. Why? Because you have a smaller exhaust side. Smaller areas push more air faster, so you spool up faster. That's why like GT28s are amazing turbos. They're one of the more popular turbos on a Mark IV because you can make a lot of power very, very fast. Okay, so again, Nick, you are correct, but we're not making denser air. You're still getting 10 psi. That's your density is 10 pounds of pressure, but that pressure is changed by the amount of volume of air. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, because 10 psi is your density. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That's your dense. That's how dense the air is 10 psi, 10 pounds of boost. That's all you get. You don't get any more boost. Same turbo. KO3 gives you 10 pounds, 10 psi. That's how you get your density. But I'm getting cups of air on a KO3 where I'm getting gallons of air on a big turbo or a GT28. You know, it's kind of the way we are. Correct. Pressure is not density, but volume. Density is a metric of volume. I understand that, Nick. Okay, but remember, we're talking about volume. We don't measure air in density. We measure air in volume. So when your density is how dense the air is, and that only happens on these cars after the intercooler, not before. Because if that were the case, then it'd be a whole different. Yeah, sure. Definitely send me the link. I would definitely like to hear that. But again, for what I'm explaining, but your KO3, back to what your question was originally, I mean, you're not going to make more power. KO3s max out around 220 to 230 horsepower if you're lucky. It also depends on where you live. Since I live here on sea level here in California, we make more power. Our air is a lot more dense out here because at sea level we have more pressure, so we have more dense air that's stagnant. I agree 100% with you, Tiny. However, superchargers suck because you lose power, then gain power over time. You need to put a bigger supercharger to make more power. But at the same time, you lose fuel efficiency for making that power. Where on the turbo, you don't lose anything. You get free stuff. I agree, yes. I prefer the sound of a supercharger because I love the supercharger whine. It is amazing. But, it's one of those things, again, living here at a sea level, we make way more power on cars than people that live above sea level or areas that are much higher above the sea level. For example, long time ago, when I had my first Mark IV, I had it tuned by GIAC, and I did the KO4 build from them, and I had it tuned out here, and then we did a dyno out here. We made like 280, I think 260 or 280 horses with their KO4 setup, and I made consistently 280 to almost 200. I think almost 300 pounds of torque consistent here. And so they asked me to take their car up to them down in or up north to I forgot where it was, Irwindale, like somewhere in that area, Irwindale, very far up north, and doing a tune with them. I ended up getting 260 horsepower. I lost 20 horsepower after like 5 dyno pulls with them. And because they I guess they're a little bit higher above sea level where their shop was, because their air was less dense. I was losing actual power, so we were leaning out a little bit more. But it was crazy, just driving literally 2 hours away from my house, and I lost more power, like a lot more power. And the same goes with, like, when we drive up to Big Bear. A lot of you guys naturally aspirated cars, you guys lose a lot of power. Where a turbocharged car forces the air into the car because we're forcing more volume into it. So they tend to keep their power all the way up the mountain where, where just naturally aspirated cars were starved. It was pretty funny watching a lot of cars stalling on the way up to Big Bear. You can see a lot of cars like just barely make it up the mountain that are naturally aspirated. The gas car, turbo cars or supercharged cars had no problem pretty much along the way. It's pretty neat to see that. All right, so it's an hour and 37 minutes in. Do you guys have any other questions? What's up?
You should tell them we still have the 10K subscriber.
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
Good.
haven't
We have
forgot
the
about them, so
for you. There's 4 people
there's more.
that won the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm gonna give you guys all the prizes. I have not forgotten about you guys.
We've just been busy.
We just been, again, we had a lot of stuff happening in our lives all at once here at our home. So for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway,
We didn't forget about you.
we didn't forget about you. Thank you, wife.
We'll get to it soon.
But we're gonna give you guys those prizes soon. I'm definitely gonna hit you. High compression or ITBs. I love both. Those sound amazing. Cars like with ITBs or naturally aspirated high compression are beautiful sounding cars. You're welcome, Vin. Definitely welcome, sir. Again, for all you guys that definitely like the channel and everything, for the 10K subscribers, don't worry. I got you guys already written down. I got your prizes already in the works. You will be getting an email from me for your t-shirt sizes, please. Definitely get that very soon.
I'll do it after the giveaway is done.
We can probably do it all at once.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, that'd be neat. Yeah, that'd be fun. So we have all your stuff ready. We just got to get it all situated and get your email addresses and your addresses very soon. With the next live session that's coming up tomorrow, I'm going to be filming the DIY for the power steering relocation and cooling ball delete. So stay tuned for that, guys. Once I have it filmed, I will upload it immediately and share it to you guys. And when that happens, I will put up on my online store the kit to do all that as well for you guys, okay? But again, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the live session. I love doing these live chats with you guys. It's fun talking car. It's fun just hanging out and being, talking stuff, Same with Nick Gardner. Awesome. Very informative. I'm definitely not going to disagree. We always have to agree together because it's fun. That's the whole point about this, is having fun and learning together. It's very, very important that we all learn together and have fun together. All right. Again, thank you for tuning in. Not a problem. What a spick. There's my wife's hand over there. Not my third hand, her hand. Thanks again for everybody tuning in, and have a wonderful day and have a wonderful night. And all you guys over there from across the pond, have yourself a wonderful day. And again, please be safe out there, and be healthy, because we don't want to have a repeat of this stupid pandemic. I'm over it. I want to get back to my normal life. But either way, have a wonderful night and be safe, everyone. Peace out. And as always, if you see another dubber on the road, give them a thumbs up, peace sign, respect one another. And again, please be safe. Huh? Wear a mask. What's that? Is that a wheel? What are you talking about, Nick Gardner? What wheel are we talking about? Where are you pointing at? Or where are you looking at? I can tell you if it is or isn't.
Where is the wheel?
Was that the wheel? I don't know. Before I hang up, what are you talking about? Okay, I guess you're not replying, so no worries. Again, everybody have a wonderful night. And as always, here at Pinchiel's Garage, we're going to break, we're going to fix, and we're going to repeat. Peace out, everyone, and have a wonderful night and morning for you guys on the other side of the world. And Nick Gardner, send me a message, please. I have an email, pinchials.garage@gmail.com, all right?